everybody, my name is Maisie and welcome to week 3 of my beginner flexibility series. Today we're going to be focusing on our hamstring flexibility. It's going to be a quick fire workout as usual. We're going to range between 10 and 15 minutes on most of the videos that I film. So without further ado, let's get into today's session. So all you're going to need today is your mat and yourself and a little bit of space to move. We're going to just warm up the whole body before we begin. So we're going to face the top of the mat, feet about hip width apart, toes pointing out slightly. We're going to raise the arms up. I'm just going to face you guys for this because I don't have much room to my right. And then we're going to come down to a half fold, keeping that back nice and flat, so to the knees. If you can stretch further than this, I just want you to move in a way that feels nice. And I really want to emphasize that it feels good. Really tune into your body and listen to when it feels good and when your body's telling you to back off. We're going to come back up. Really stretch as if you're being pulled by a piece of string, by your hands and by your toes. And then we're going to come back down. A few wiggles. And then a big stretch up. And down. One. Oh, this feels so good. Okay, we are going to make our way down to the mat. So place your bottom on the floor. We are going to put our toes out in front of us. And we're going to come into a little sequence. It's a really small sequence. We're going to come back into our bow and arrow. So I want you to curve the spine in this move. So we're going to curve, almost bringing that elbow to the floor. We're going to come all the way back up and reach for the toes. If this is as far as you can go, that's absolutely fine. We're going to keep focus on keeping that spine nice and flat. Reach for the toes, and then we're going to bring the right arm and elbow back to the floor. Reach for the toes. You should feel a really big stretch down your hamstrings doing this. So we're doing a little bit of core and hamstring mobility. We're going to do 4 more. Okay, come back up, keep those toes flexed. We're going to bring our feet slightly in, and we're going to reach for the toes. If you're only at your knees, that's okay, just honour where you are today. It will feel different every day, and depending on different times of the day as well. So reach for your knees or your toes, and we're going to go into our first forward fold. This is quite an advanced move. If you have a mirror to hand where you can look at your spine, that's a really good way of learning posture and watching what your body feels like in certain movements. Because sometimes you may think that you have a nice flat spine, and then if you actually look at yourself in the mirror or even record it, then you can make adjustments. I find it really good actually when I film things because I can see where I'm maybe making mistakes or doing things that don't look quite right. Okay, we are going to cross the legs, come forward into tabletop. So So plant the hands and the knees on the floor, and we're going to tuck our toes. People often forget about toe and ankle mobility, and then we're going to sit back towards our heels. Really stretch out those toes. Everything is interconnected, so we want to stretch every area if we can. Try and keep every toe on the floor when you do this exercise. I'm going to go for 5 more. Two more. Okay, come back to the tabletop. Bring those knees in slightly, untuck the toes. We are going to come into a quad stretch. So this is a fantastic core exercise, but it's also really good for stretching out the front of those quadriceps. It's quite advanced, so if you need to hold on to something, please do. And you may not be able to go very far back. So what we're going to do is keep that core really strong. So I want you to imagine that belly button being sucked back to your spine, and almost like your hip bone and your ribs are coming together. So we're going to really tuck. It's quite a strange looking pose. We want to keep that trunk really strong. And then we're going to move our bottoms back to our heels, but keeping the legs straight. 1. We're going to go for 8, 2, 3, 4. If this is too intense on your knees, fold a towel and pop it under your knees. 5, halfway there. 6. This is really intense for me. 7. Hold on if you need to. 8. Okay, we're going to come back into our tabletop. We're going to stretch that left leg out long, tuck the toes, and we're going to push into the heel and flex forward. 2. 3. 4. 5. 3 more. 8. Lovely. Switch sides. So stretching out that right leg, tucking the toes, pushing into the heel. So we're getting a really lovely calf, Achilles, hamstring stretch. Flexing the foot forwards. If you want to stay in a pose, stay in the pose longer and just pause the video. Like, it's going to feel different on my body than it does on yours, so listen to your body. If you need to be in a pose longer, if you need to wiggle, if you need to stay static, just listen. I think my form of mobility is more so about listening to your body and really becoming in tune with that, because your body is always giving you pointers on when to back off or when it needs to go further. If you feel like you want to go further into a stretch, the breath is really important. So if you want to stretch further, that out breath is when you really lean into it. Almost like you're releasing tension when you have that out breath. Okay, come back to tabletop. So we're going to plant the hands, thumbs pointing in, pinkies pointing out, and that second finger finger pointing forward. I want you to push through the bottom of your palms and really push through your hands so your shoulders are going to come up to your ears. We're going to go into our first downward dog. We're going to tuck the toes and we're going to push our hips up to the sky, our rib cage towards our thighs. And we're just going to take a few pedals. It's okay if your heel doesn't come all the way down, it doesn't matter. This is about your flexibility and it's just going to improve over time. For me today, this is feeling really nice. It's feeling nice to pose with that heel down. I can really feel an intense stretch. Really keep pushing through those hands, checking in on your form. Okay, we're just going to plant the feet down if we can. If we can't, put the heels down. I want you to bring those thighs to your chest. Focus on putting that bottom in the air, and instead of getting feet down, focus on pushing shoulders towards your ears. If you can, release the heels down. My legs are shaking, this is actually a bit intense for me right now. I personally find stretching in the evening better. Okay, I'm bringing these down back into tabletop. Untuck the toes. And we're going to come into our child's pose. So you can rest your forehead on the floor or your chin, whatever feels good for you. We're going to slowly come back up into tabletop. We're going to reposition our hands, tuck the toes, push into our downward dog, and then we are going to do 3 hip opening movements. So we're going to bring the right leg up into 3-legged dog, and then we're going to pull the right foot down towards the left buttock and open that hip. 1, bring it down. 2, opening up that hip, bring it down. 3, opening up that hip. If it feels good, stay here for a bit. If you need to come back down into down dog or child's pose, listen to your body. Bring that foot down. We're going to do the same on the other side, so bring that left leg up into 3-legged dog. Oh, this feels so good to me today. We're going to bend the leg and bring the left foot towards the right buttock. Open up those hips. 1, this feels so good. Bring it down to down dog. 2, 1. If you want to take some circles, you can always offer some circles, a lovely hip opener. And then our last 3-legged dog, we're going to take that left leg up and bring it towards our right buttock. Open those hips. And then slowly come down into down dog. bring our knees down into tabletop and then into a wide leg child's pose. So we're going to open those hips up, bring our chest down to the floor. Stretch forwards to end the practice here today. When you're ready, slowly roll back up. Thank you all so much for joining us for week 3. I hope you've enjoyed our mobility sessions so far, and I will see you next week for our next beginner mobility session. Thank you so much. Bye!